Hello and welcome to The Art of Thinking Smart, where we talk to experienced leaders of business, community, and culture about the personal lessons that have made them successful. I'm Michael North, sitting in for host David Chang of Wealthbridge in downtown Honolulu. Today we're exploring the fascinating, day-to-day, practical wisdom of outstanding people. It's not how big you think or how fast, it's how smart, deeply knowing yourself, your mission, your team, your image. So let's think 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps ahead, rather than only concentrating on the next step. So our first step this morning will be to introduce distinguished friend Olivier Urbain. And here in the studio we have Yoko, his wife, who's standing by. She's equally distinguished and she's with her husband here today. Welcome, Olivier, to ThinkTech.
Thank you, Michael. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, great to be here with you. And I wanted to begin by asking you, you've been here for 7 years.
Yes, that's right.
You came from a faraway place.
Yes.
And you're going to a faraway place.
That's correct too.
And you've had 7 very dynamic years here, mostly based in Honolulu.
Correct, yes.
And my first question is, you've been working as, we have a slide here of the organization that you've been working with, the Toda Peace Institute.
That's right, yes.
For all these years. And you've been moving through so many different people and levels of our community, different groups. What are the things that you've learned and some of the people that you've visited and met with? We have some pictures of some of those people that you can just briefly tell us about your journey here in Hawaii.
Oh, thank you. So those are the books I published over the years together with other people. And that was the basis of my thinking about life, about management, about how to deal with people, how to create harmony with people. And then based on that, I learned so much here in Hawaii, and we're going to see that in a moment. And
I like this quote.
Yes.
Here, comment on this briefly.
Okay, so this is from John Blacking, one of the pioneers of ethnomusicology. Music is humanly organized sound. I think we can agree on that when we hear any kind of sounds made by people, we can call it music if we want. Of course, animals produce sounds too, we can call it music, but according to Blacking, it's humanly organized sound. It's one level. Deeper is when he says in 1973, the chief function of music is to promote soundly organized humanity. That's very, very important. Soundly organized humanity brings us to the question, are we soundly organized today, here and now? If we look at different governments around the world, if we look at the UN, if we look at all kinds of businesses, are we soundly organized? Is everybody fulfilling their mission? Everybody has enough water, enough food, can afford the house they want, yes or no?
And I guess your point is sound can actually help us to organize.
Yes.
Music can actually help to set the mind.
Yes, that's the conclusion of many years of research. There's many things we need to do in order to have very effective governance at all levels, but I think sound, musicality, musicking is a major ingredient, and I would like to promote that a little bit more. So of course, on the personal level, when we listen to music we love, we feel good. That's why we love that music. So we feel happier. And can we expand that to society and the world? That's the question. Here you see really wonderful people related to the forgiveness project, the Hawaii Forgiveness Project. I think you recognize, Michael, the person in the top right. So top left, you have Elizabeth, who was a guest here, and then Roger Epstein and Michael are the ones who really brought me into the Forgiveness Project. And I learned, of course, forgiveness, even preventive forgiveness, which means you forgive in advance yourself and others for whatever might happen in the future, so that in the here and now, you fully ground it, and you don't worry about what's going to happen. You forgive the past to yourself and others, but also preemptively forgive the future.
Yeah.
I learned that, and then the team of the Forgiveness Project introduced
Back to that
me.
other slide.
Yes, that team introduced me to major people in Hawaii. You can see the bottom right, Melana Mayer, who is one of the wisest people I know, a community leader here in Hawaii. I learned a lot from her. Elizabeth Saturis, with Doug there. Elizabeth Saturis has this amazing vision of life as being one. It's a very musical approach, I would say. And Melana Mayer also, bottom right, uses music and the arts to really help the Hawaiian community have a more fulfilled life, a more prosperous life. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, in practical terms, I mean, we all have music that we love.
Yes,
right? We have music that is part of our memory, that is part of our childhood, that is part of our young years that we were dancing to. And,
Yes.
you know, we have music that inspires us. We have music that makes us sad, that makes us reflect. We all have a soundtrack in our lives.
Right.
Right? So, in practical terms, you're saying that we should pay attention to that as a conscious part of our day-to-day life, and that we should cultivate knowledge of music, a feeling about music, that it will carry us forward in a more harmonious way through our day-to-day life, whether we're a secretary sitting at a desk in an office tower, whether we're a corporate CEO, whether we're a president of a country. Music is a positive thing, and we should cultivate it as a soundtrack.
I believe so. I think if we really want to start thinking smart, we have to use our whole bodies, our whole emotions, our whole brain, not just the thinking part, which is a very thin layer of cortex here. We have to use the whole thing. So when we listen to music that we love, and when we sing to it, when we dance to it, we stomp our feet, we clap our hands, what happens is that we engaged all our cells, everything. So we engage our bodies, which is, I think, crucial for smart thinking. We can feel the beat if there is a rhythm with bass or drum. We can feel it in our guts, literally. We are aware of breathing. We are aware of our heartbeat. That's the first song we heard, actually, when we were about 4 months old in the womb. We started to have ears and to hear something.
And mothers are told to play Mozart while the child is in the womb, because then you'll come out smart.
Well, it can be Mozart, it can be Herbie Hancock, it can be Beyonce, it can be whatever music it is that the mother likes. As long as it feels good, the child then can hear those sounds, and it will be memories for the future.
So if we're running a company here, music could be part of how we bring people together. I mean, I remember years ago at the company that I was running in Los Angeles, we would, twice a year, we would do a blues cruise. And we would get everyone together on a boat, go for a sail for 3 or 4 hours, and there'd be live blues music. And to this day, people who worked together with me in that company say, I remember the blues cruise.
Right. Exactly. So to repeat a little bit what I just said, when, you're on a cruise with business people and you're supposed to think smart together and accomplish things and do good sales or sell good products, when you listen to the blues together, you can really connect at a much deeper level. You connect with your bodies. I'm sure some people start dancing or clapping their hands or singing together. And so that's one aspect, is the physicality of music, the vibes, the vibrations are very important to start harmonizing your thoughts and those of others. I think that's what thinking smart means. And next, there is the emotions. Again, when we think thinking smart is really rational, really cool, well, that's fine, but if we add emotions behind it, and of course the 4 basic emotions are anger, sadness, fear, and joy, and all 4 are important. Blues music expresses all 4 very strongly, and it's a safe environment. You don't really have to feel the pain of anger when the singer gets angry, but you can still feel some anger, some irritation.
It's cathartic.
It's cathartic.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing on the personal level. I think is very good. Body, feelings, and then mind. But then on the collective level, you realize that if you can listen together to music that somehow everybody likes,
Right.
then even though we are different, we might have arguments the whole year, during that moment in the here and now, thanks to the harmonizing power of music, we can all dance together, we can maybe forgive what happened or have a new vision of that. Wow, look at the president, the CEO, he's dancing.
Yeah.
I thought he was like this stiff guy, really boring, you know. No, he's dancing, he's jamming.
So it can be just as important a part of the team building process as all the structured meetings and these are our objectives, these are the methods, you're in charge, all of that. That's all important, but maybe music can add some of the juice to
Exactly,
that structure.
exactly. Music is not, I don't think music is a miracle cure for anything. I don't think music actually by itself is worth much as far as business or management or improvement.
context.
But if you add music at the right place at the right time, it can change everything for the better. So strategy is important in business or in research or in government, but relationships are crucial.
Relationships. Let's look at a couple more of those pictures. Zuri, could you go back a couple of pictures? Yes. Oh, sorry.
The next one.
The next one.
Next one is good.
That's the one I wanted to see.
Yes,
Introduce us to these outstanding people here.
Yes. So thanks to the Forgiveness Project, I met everybody else, including on the left, we have Kanoa Kalani, who is a very, very wise man, an Hawaiian elder, I would say. And I learned so much from him. He's so giving, so generous, and he shares his wisdom freely with so many people. And I really learned how to get in touch with my emotions in the deepest way, and not just joy, but also anger and sadness and fear. We spent the whole day at his place with some others, and he was in charge. He was using his Hawaiian wisdom and Hawaiian knowledge, very, very old knowledge, and he called the ancestors, and I don't want to repeat what he did because I don't really understand it, but it works. It works so well. And since that session and other discussions with Kanoa, I learned the importance of physical sensations and of feelings, and those 4 basic feelings. So thank you so much.
So I'm sure Kanoa Kalani, if people want to Google that name, you will find him online.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's based on the North Shore of Oahu, but he ranges widely across the islands and works with many groups, large and small, to transmit Hawaiian wisdom in a way that's accessible to people in the 21st century, Hawaiian or otherwise.
Absolutely. Actually, he's not far from the Polynesian Culture Center, so it's good to see both, to see the difference.
Right.
He will give you the real, authentic one. And
on the right,
we have Ha'aheo Guanson and Kaleo Patterson. I've spoken many times with Ha'aheo, and she has supported the Toda Institute for many, many years, even before I came here. Kaleo Patterson, I only shook hands with him once, but it was enough to learn.
It's a big handshake.
Oh yes, that was enough to learn from him. So I really thank them to have made my experience in Hawaii so meaningful, so worthwhile. Yeah,
Let's
great
take a break
teachers.
for a brief moment, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Mark Shklov. I'd like you to join me for my program, Law Across the Sea, on thinktechhawaii.com. Aloha.
Thank you for watching Think Tech. I'm Grace Chang, the new host for Global Connections. You can find me here live every Thursday at 1 p.m., where we'll be talking to people around the islands or visiting the islands who are connected in various aspects of global affairs. So please tune in, and aloha, and thanks for watching.
Aloha, my name is Reg Baker, and I'm the host of Business in Hawaii with Reg Baker. We broadcast live every Thursday at 2 o'clock. We highlight businesses and individuals that are successful in Hawaii, and we learn their secrets to their success. I hope you can join us and listen in, because we always have a pack of information on successful stories in Hawaii. Aloha.
Hello, we're back here with Olivier Urbain. very interesting conversation about music and harmony and soundness of life. I want to show you another photograph, several photographs of people that have been part of your journey here. Tell us who we're looking at here.
Okay, so
These are all University of Hawaii people.
that's right, yes, all
Yeah.
three of them. Top right, that picture, you have George Kent with his wife Joan. George is a specialist of nutrition rights. So he is promoting the idea that to eat food, proper food and good food, enough and good food, is the right of every single human being. It's like breathing. So he's been really struggling and fighting to improve things like starvation and hunger. How can we globally change that? And he's a great scholar, published many books, but his conclusion is about caring. That, I will quote him, caring communities do not go hungry.
Okay.
So if we care about our families and our friends at home, we are actually doing something about hunger in the world. So that's
Right.
very important. And
On the right there we
on
have-
the right, yes, the lady in the middle, who is also in the bottom right,
Yes.
her name is Jeannie Lum, also professor at the University of Hawaii. Her specialty is peace education, and she loves nature, she loves gardening. So here you can see her opening the peace garden, the urban peace garden that belongs to the University of Hawaii and which is near Pearl Harbor, actually.
Yeah.
And that appeared from a conversation between three people. Actually, two were speaking, Jeannie Lum and you, and I was just listening. And it just emerged from the two of you, let's create a peace garden and plant a tree.
That's a special place, you know, those of us who are in Honolulu. It's in the kind of elbow between the H1 and the H2, and it's sort of behind Home Depot.
Yes.
There. But the property is run by the University of Hawaii, by their tropical agriculture department, and it has a tremendous variety of different plants and flowers to study. It's a beautiful, tranquil place to go. You can even go and have your own garden there.
Right, right. It's worth seeing for sure, and then you can also
So
buy the
if
peace
you
garden.
if you Google Peace Garden or Peace Garden Hawaii, then you can find out about that.
Now we missed one very important person. If you can go back to the slide.
Bottom left.
Bottom left is Glenn Page and his wife
yeah.
Glenda.
Famous.
Glenn Page is a veteran of the Korean War, and what he found out during active duty is the importance of human life. And he came up with the concept of non-killing. So starting from non-violence, but non-violence is very vague. He thinks non-killing, you can count how many people died. And his goal has been to promote this idea that, according to him, it is possible to create a society where we don't need to kill anybody to survive. But he asked the question, is it possible to establish a society where we don't have to kill each other? If yes, why?
Yeah.
If no, why not?
Yeah.
And from that question now,
It's a very provocative question.
provocative. Dozens of books have been published in 40 different languages. It's a global movement.
Yeah, Glenn Page, we're really fortunate to have a man of his depth and experience.
Right.
That we have a lot of people here, a lot of kapuna
Yes,
in
yes.
our community.
And it's very
here.
important to-
You've met a lot of them.
Yeah, it's very important to talk about him at the present because he passed away on January 22nd, unfortunately.
I know.
But his spirit is here forever. It's part of Hawaii. It's not a coincidence that he really developed his science and his movement of non-killing here in Hawaii.
It's
and
still
nowhere
very
else.
much present.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, very
Thank you,
good.
Glenn and Glenda.
Yes, let's have a look at the next photo.
Yes. Want to say something about that, or my
say
turn? I learned so much from the people here in Hawaii, but I also learned a lot from visitors. So my wife and I met so many wonderful people here, and just one among many, Desmond Tutu, came here a few years ago, and he gave talks, and it's amazing. He laughs all the time. He is so joyful. He's so happy. He brought South Africa out of apartheid into what it is today. Such incredible work. But this very, very important work seems to have been done through joy, mostly.
Really
And
positive.
He believes in Ubuntu, like many people of African origin do. Ubuntu means the reason I'm a human being is because you are a human being, and I can talk to you, I can listen to you, we can dance together, we can play music together. That makes me human because you are human. That's the spirit of Ubuntu.
And if you ask his mentor, Nelson Mandela, about music, he would be the first one to say that the reconciliation that happened, the miracle of reconciliation that happened when Mandela was released from prison, was in part made possible by the current of music, by the rhythm, by the spirit, by people coming together in a harmonious way rather than in a way of shouting and clashing.
Exactly.
It came in a series of songs that were the spirit of a powerful movement.
Exactly. Again, it's not music that was able to bring South Africa out of apartheid. There's thousands of factors, but by adding music to it, letting people sing together, dance together during demonstrations, during mass rallies, it harmonized and it brought something more than if you imagine the whole movement without the music.
We have an example, a local example of what you're talking about. There's a lady, Masago Asai.
Yes.
And Masago is associated with the nuclear explosion in Nagasaki.
Nagasaki, yes.
And numbers of her family perished in that moment. And her mother had long period of illness as a result of the contamination of that moment. And she grew up as a very, very self-contained, very shy, very sad girl. But many years later, she learned to reach out, partly through music and forgiveness. And there was a recognition of the anniversary of that event, the 70th anniversary of that event, at Kauai Church, which is just a few blocks from here. It's the oldest church in the islands. You and I were both there. You had just arrived from Nagasaki overnight, literally, to come there. And Masago and her two daughters, they danced a hula of forgiveness with music. And we want to share with you folks a little bit of that moment. So that is an illustration of the reality behind the principle we've been talking. And one thing that fascinates me about your work on the academic side is your discussion of revolution and music and the relationship between them. Revolution meaning creating lasting, enduring, meaningful social change.
Yes,
And
yes.
how music is almost always involved in some role. Can you comment on a little bit on that in your research?
Sure. So there are so many examples. Of course, the most famous in the United States would be Pete Seeger, and this whole musical movement, during the Vietnam War and all those years. And so I think most people who are concerned about the fate of the state of their society, believe in some movement, some mass movement, and there is music that connects with it. The civil rights movement, "We Shall Overcome," is the main song, but there are many, many other songs. So each movement has. I think it's Dr. King who said, "A movement that doesn't have a song doesn't have a future. Or it's not going to work."
And that could work for almost any social organization.
Exactly.
A company, an organization,
yes.
a government department could all be held together,
Right.
at least in part, by music, and we should
Exactly.
pay attention to that.
Right.
Every company needs a musicologist.
Right, absolutely. So a few years ago, I came up with this concept of social music therapy. We know music therapy works for the individual. How much can we expand the power of music or the capacity of our musicking to create more social justice, better societies? And it starts with better families, better companies, better workplaces. Yes, yes.
That's an interesting verb, musicking.
Musicking is a verb, yes.
Yes.
It was in a book, I think in '98, Christopher Small reestablished that word which had been forgotten. It's not about the sounds and the rhythms, it's about what we do to each other when we listen. So it's musicking, it's a verb, yeah.
So now you are moving on in your career. Sadly, you're leaving the phase of your life here in Honolulu, and you're moving on to Japan. We'll look at one picture here that we have. If we go forward a couple of pictures here.
But we missed one. Can we go
are.
back one or two to the book?
No, we just have this time here.
Oh.
You'll be the director of Minon in
Correct.
Tokyo, amazing cultural institution there, and we want to be sure to wish you the very best and to let you know that you're always welcome on our shores. And you can Google minon.org, and we have a link here. So for those of us who are here, who may be in Tokyo from time to time,
Yes.
it would benefit from a visit and
Oh,
from
come and see me
a breath of
at the office
aloha
there.
together.
Yes, yes.
So we're wishing you and Yoko and everyone in Tokyo the very best as you move forward in your career and bringing harmony to the
Michael.
world.
Thank you so much, Mike.